What's up, geometry? Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Math with Mullins. Today we're going to be looking at our lesson 3.1, day 1. We're just going to focus on identifying special angle pairs, parallel and skew lines, and transversals. So let's go ahead and get started. First things up is we're going to talk about, well, what are parallel lines? Parallel lines is when you have, I'm going to go ahead and type this so it's a little bit more neat. We're going to have coplanar lines that do not intersect. So let's go ahead and draw a picture after we get through some of these definitions. Skew lines are going to be lines that do not intersect and are not coplanar. And then parallel planes are just planes that do not intersect. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at each one and see what they're supposed to look like. So with parallel lines, we're going to see two lines. I'm going to try to make these straight as possible. You're also going to see these little arrows. Sometimes they look like little, triangles on there, and they are not intersecting. This line is, and we'll talk more about what that means in a second, but maybe we have like point J, point L, point K, point M, and these are all going to be lines going forever. So you can even say line JK is parallel to line LM. Okay? Skew lines, those are lines that do not intersect and are not coplanar. So I'm going to show you two planes here. Here could be line L, and here could be line M, and then this could be plane A, and this could be plane B. So lines L and M are skew lines. So they are not intersecting because they're not on the same plane. Okay? Parallel planes, those are just planes that do not intersect. So kind of recreating the wheel from here. These planes are not going to intersect. We'll say A and B. So you can say planes A and B are, and we'll use our symbol for parallel. Okay? Go ahead and take time to copy this if you haven't already in your notes, and when you're ready to go ahead and click that play button. Example 1, we're going to talk about skew, parallel, and parallel planes. So all skew lines to BC. Remember, skew lines are lines that are not intersecting and they're not on the same plane. So for BC, here's my BC right here. Skew lines to that would be a good example, line AF, not on the same plane. Another one that would be skew, you could say line DE. You could also say line FG. And then you can also say line EH. Okay, so all of those are skew lines because they are not intersecting and they are not coplanar. Now let's look at all lines parallel to EH. So here's our EH. So parallel lines, we can have line CD, we can have line AB, and we can have line FG. There are only 3. Again, parallel just means coplanar lines on the same plane as EH that are not intersecting. Okay? And then all planes parallel to plane DCH. This is DCH. The only parallel plane we have is plane ABG, or you can say ABF. Okay? So there's that. Let's go and take a peek now at some more definitions. Again, I'm going to type out the definitions first so we can just get through our lesson a little bit quicker, and then we'll go back and write some pictures. Okay? A transversal is when we have a line that intersects 2 or more lines in a plane. Okay? Corresponding angles lie on the same side of the transversal and on the same side of the lines intersecting. Transversal. alternate exterior angles. Those are non-adjacent exterior angles that lie on opposite sides of the transversal. Alternate interior are non-adjacent interior angles that lie on opposite sides of the transversal. And then we have consecutive interior angles. Those are interior angles that lie on the same side of the transversal. Okay, so what we're going to do is draw a picture, and that picture is going to be the same picture for each one. Okay, so here's what I mean by that. Let's go ahead and take the picture T, and then we're going to have line Q, and then we'll have line R. Okay, so the transversal here is line T. Line T is the transversal. Okay, because it's going through two or more lines in a plane. Corresponding angles. So what I'm going to do is take a picture of this, and I'm going to copy it. So that we have it for each picture. So give me a minute to do this. If you want to fast forward while I do this, then you can. But I'm trying to get this to be a little bit smaller. Nope. So we're going to use this same picture for each one of these meanings, and we're just going to label the different parts. Okay, so once you get that taken care of, let's go ahead and start talking about the rest of these. So corresponding angles is next. Corresponding angles we want to have lying on the same side of the transversal and on the same side as line intersecting the transversal. So for example, I would say angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding. Okay, alternate exterior angles. I'm going to name some different ones here. Angle 1 and angle 7 are A, E, A for alternate exterior. And I'm going to go ahead and label 2 and 8. So angle 2 and angle 8 are alternate exterior angles. Alternate interior angles. I'm going to name those something different. We'll say this is angle 4 and angle 6. So angle 4 and angle 6 are AIA. And then we'll name this guy 3 and 5. So angle 3 and angle 5 are alternate interior angles. And then consecutive interior angles. Again, color coding here. 4 and 5 are consecutive interior. And 3 and 6. I'm going to just do ditto marks here. Okay, so that is going to tell us a little bit about all the angles we're going to see today. We're going to practice that. So just make sure you have this part filled in on your notes. And let's go ahead and get going. All right, classify the relationship between each pair of angles, angle 4 and angle 5. Those are going to be alternate interior angles because they are non-adjacent interior angles that lie on opposite sides of the transversal. 3 and 7, those are going to be corresponding angles just because they are your same side of transversal and on the same side as those lines. Angle 3 and angle 5, those are going to be consecutive interior angles because they are interior angles that lie on the same side of the transversal. Also, when we think about consecutive, like one right after the other, so let's literally 3 and then 5, okay? And then 1 and then 8, those are alternate exterior angles, okay? Next up, we're going to practice labeling even more. It says use the picture below to help answer the following. So name the transversal to the following pairs of angles. So angle 1 and angle 12 are here and here, and they are being intersected by transversal L. 3 and 6 are here and here. They're intersected by transversal J. 7 and 15 by the transversal M. What do we think about angle 12 and 14? That one is going to be transversal K. Okay. The alternate exterior angles, now we're going to start naming a few of these. So alternate exterior, 1 and we can say 1 and 8. Another pair I was going to say, you could say angle 1 and angle 12. 5 and 16 would work, or you can even say 5 and 2, and then 10 and 3, but you could also say angle 10 and angle 15. Okay, all of those are alternate exterior angles. Alternate interior angles, so 2 and 11 would be interior because we're on the inside, non-adjacent angles. Another one for 13 and angle 8. Those are going to be alternate interior. And then angle 9 and angle 4 are going to be alternate interior. One we didn't get to is angle 6 and angle 15. Okay? Maybe see if you can try some of these on your own. If you want to pause the video here, check these out on your own, and then when you're ready to try them, click play. All right, corresponding to 14 would be 14 and 6. You could also say angle 14 and angle 10 because they're both on the same side of their lines. Angle 9 corresponds with angle 1, but angle 9 could also be angle 13. Angle 16 corresponds to angle 8, but it can also correspond to 12. Consecutive interior angles, there's only one correct answer for this one. So angle 9 and angle 2 are consecutive interior angles. Angle 6 and angle 13 are consecutive interior. And then angle 15 and angle 8 are consecutive interior. Another pair we could say is angle 4 and angle 11. Okay? That'll conclude today's notes on just introductions to angles, skew lines, parallel lines. Tune back in tomorrow when we talk about how to prove or how to know if something is parallel and why they'd be parallel, and then how do those parallel lines affect all of our angles. Have a great day. Bye.